Good evening, everybody. Dr. Gloria Pope here with Black Girl Everything, and I am here with Danielle Browne of the Browne Firm. Fancy, fancy. Hey, Danielle.
Creative with the name, right?
Huh?
You're creative with the name, right? The Browne
Listen, I
Firm.
try to be. I try to be. I try to be. So, Danielle, where are you from? Tell everybody a little bit about you.
So I was born in the Bronx, raised in Mount Vernon. My family's been in Mount Vernon for 27 years. So I'm a product of Mount Vernon, true and through. I went through the school system, the public school system. I was actually in Catholic school there as well. Played basketball all the way from sixth grade, organized basketball from sixth grade all the way through college. But I went to Mount Vernon High School and played there too.
What year did you graduate?
2006.
Oh, you're young.
I am young. I'm a claim.
Yeah, I graduated back in like 1998,
Mm, that's
back
funny.
in the 90s when life was really cool.
I know. I wish I could go back. Adulting is a bit more than they told us it was.
Yeah, it's not that much fun. It isn't. And then you accomplish more goals. I'm like, yeah, I made it. Then you're like, but this gets harder and harder and harder.
And then
So you are actually, what are you gonna say?
you always moving the goals too. It's like you get one and then you're like, all right, I gotta move that up a little bit.
That's my problem. I can't sit still.
Mm.
It's like I keep climbing the ladder, like, oh, I got here. And I'm like, oh, how much higher can I climb? And then now I'd be like climbing like multiple ladders at one time. So I need to learn to sit down just a little bit. I'm just not right now. I just can't have time for that. So tell me about your firm.
Okay, so the Browne Firm, we've been in existence since December 2017. And we primarily practice in three areas. Business law, we do business formation, so LLCs, corporations, nonprofits. We do contracts. The second area is IP. We really focus on trademarks. We do copyright stuff. We don't do any patent law. And the third area is estate planning, right? So I help families get a really plan for the next generations, right? So I do trusts, wills, healthcare proxies, power of attorneys, living wills, just kind of really set up the foundation for generational wealth. And I love working with families, setting up generational wealth, helping them figure out how to pass it on and things like that. So absolutely love what I do, right? I was an entrepreneur all my life, and always had the entrepreneurial spirit. I was in high school, making mixtapes for people. They call me DJ Sleep. I don't know if you can see my eyes are a little low. They call they call me DJ Sleep, and I would make mixtapes in high school. So yeah.
So you used to make mixtapes in high school?
Tell me what
That
song
is so
you want,
cool.
and I would put it on a CD for you.
Oh wow, that's like one of those hidden gems that you just know about somebody. I know that she used to do this back in the day.
Yep.
That's like super cool. So
Yep.
you have an appreciation for music.
Yes, my dad was a musician. He can play virtually any instrument. So grew up, he played in a bunch of bands. So grew up following him around. And we're West Indian, so he used to be on the Parkway for Labor Day. And we used to go. So I was always around music and kind of love music. Now that's like really my release point. When I'm stressed, I can listen to some music and kind of balance myself out. So I love music, and I work with artists. I have an entertainment practice too, but it's dwindling down a bit. But yeah, I've worked with artists, all my life and been around artists all my life. So I love music.
Wow, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
I didn't know a lot about you, but I really didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
No, that's totally cool. So tell me, so now one of the big things for Mount Vernon is that you're also running for city council, correct?
I am. So I'm currently one of, we don't know how many candidates yet, roughly about 12 or 13 candidates. I'm running with two other candidates. I have two other running mates, Caitlin Gleason and Ed Poteet, and we're endorsed by the Mount Vernon Forward Coalition. And I'm really running because, I'm a product of Mount Vernon. I'm very proud of Mount Vernon. So when I left Mount Vernon and came back, people were disappointed, right? They were like, why'd you come back? You were doing great things. You should have kept doing it. And it was kind of offensive to me because I see Mount Vernon as a great place with untapped potential and talent. And I realized that the reason the perception is this way is because how the city has been led, right? So what's going on in city council, and feeling like we haven't been making progress, feeling like the city is falling behind. So decided to stop complaining, stop being someone who just complains, and wanted to see some change. So I jumped in the race, and I'm confident that I have the skill set to bring change to Mount Vernon and progress Mount Vernon in the ways that we needed to progress, right? Because Mount Vernon used to be the it city, and everyone used to come to Mount Vernon for different shopping things. It was just a great city, and somehow we've fallen behind. So we not only need to catch up, but we need to also progress and think about the future and be more innovative. And being a business owning a law firm, I think I can bring a skill set that city council needs. And I also think my demeanor, like I'm calm, cool, collected. I'm not interested in getting into the personal fights with you or anything like that. I think we can really utilize that in city council. So that's why I jumped into the race, and I'm really inspired and motivated to bring change to Mount Vernon.
Well, I'm a diehard Mount Vernon Knight. I was born here. And then I left for like a decade, and I came back also. So it was just like, he was like, you still work? Yeah, we're right across the street from the projects, right in the Gold Center, in the center of where my city needs to be. When I brought my house, you brought a house in Mount Vernon? Yes, because I believe and love this city. I eat and breathe. I love my community. I love the people in my community. So I feel we have to invest and be here, like me and you, just be here and be part of it to make it go back to where it used to be. But it was definitely amazing. It's a dope city. I still love being here, even though we have a lot of stuff going on. But I still walk through my streets proud to be a Mount Vernon Knight every day.
Absolutely. People ask where I'm from. It's Mount Vernon. I grew up in Mount Vernon. I was here since I was 6 years old, right? So it's Mount Vernon. We have so much talent that's left Mount Vernon, so much talent that's in Mount Vernon. Like, I'm the co-chair of the Police Reform Commission, and I was on it with 27 members, and 25 of them I didn't know. Absolutely talented individuals, smart, want to give back to the community, great ideas, willing to collaborate with others. And I think we need to tap more into those type of things. And also we need to highlight some of the achievements coming out of Mount Vernon. The news always highlights the negative things, all the fights, all the, the infighting and all of that. I think we, as residents, need to start to highlight some of the positive things that come out of Mount Vernon. And I'm with you, right? It's a dope city. I think we're running people off because property taxes are continuously rising, and it's becoming an unaffordable city. So hopefully, we get in city council, we can change that, bring some additional revenue in, and kind of stop the rate of taxes, home ownership taxes from rising, and bring in some more sales tax, some more businesses who want to employ our residents, some more like manufacturing districts and commercial districts, so that we can kind of take that burden off of homeowners and build housing for all income levels, so that people want to stay in Mount Vernon and they don't have to go to other cities to seek out what they need.
Sounds like a good plan to me. Bring my taxes down, please. It's heavy. I wanted to be here, but gosh, it's heavy. Definitely heavy. So let's go back to your business a little bit. So, I'm excited also to announce that you're also presenting at the Black Girl Everything Retreat this weekend.
Ooh, I'm actually excited. I'm super excited about that, actually.
Yeah, super excited to have you. So, and especially because now I'm learning even more that you go into the building of the LLCs and the nonprofits and all that other stuff. So tell people the importance about, share a little bit about the importance of legalizing our businesses and how we should go about doing that.
Yeah. So a part of it is, right, I realized, a part of my background is, after I went to Columbia University, I went to law school. And when I went to law school, I started doing some litigation. And then after litigation, I was working with the WNBA team, the Atlanta Dream. And through all of these positions, I kind of gained knowledge and access and perspective, right? And really forming ownership is key in everything. Ownership is really key. And you need these entities like LLCs and corporations and those are the main two that people get. People think S corps are a corporation or an entity, but they aren't. It's really a tax election, so that you're taxed differently with the IRS. But the reason you need these entities is to protect all of your personal assets and all of your savings and all those things from your business assets and all your business ventures, right? These companies offer you limited liability protection. So what that means is if someone was to sue you for something that you're doing in your business, or if let's say you have a home in an LLC, if they were to sue you in that home, well, if they were to sue you, only thing they're going to be able to access is the profits that you have in that company. So they wouldn't be able to get into your savings account, right? They wouldn't be able to get into like all the money that you've been putting aside for your family members or anything like that. And that's important when we're talking about building legacy and building generational wealth. You want to make sure that you aren't just leaving yourself vulnerable to these liabilities and these lawsuits and things like that. So that's one of the primary reasons, right? That's why they're so good. But people often think that if once they just form this entity, that they're good, that they have to do nothing. And that's absolutely not true, right? So if you're not running it as a business, you're going to lose that limited liability protection, right? So what does running it like a business mean? Like, do you have a separate business account? Right? That's something that the courts are going to look at to determine whether or not you've been running it as a hobby or not. They're going to look at whether or not you've been keeping up with your maintenance. Some states have annual maintenance. New York has biannual. So have you been keeping up with that? Right? That's something they're going to look at. Are you commingling your personal funds with the business funds in that bank account? Like, are you keeping it separate? They're going to look at that. So those are some things you want to look at. But also in New York, there's special formation requirements that you have to have, right? In New York, you're required to adopt an operating agreement, even if it's a single member and members are owners of an LLC. Even if you're a single member, you're required to adopt an operating agreement. Some people don't know that. So that messes with your status as an LLC. You're also required in New York, and it's very antiquated, you're required to publish in 2 separate newspapers when you form an LLC, right? So that makes it a little bit more expensive, but you're technically not compliant if you don't do that publication. So people don't realize these things, right? And this is what I'm gonna talk about on Saturday, is there's a ton of things people don't realize, and they tend to go through like companies like LegalZoom or their accountants who don't really have the knowledge and don't really give them the guidance, right? And end up in worse situations than they would have if they would have just hired an attorney or had counsel help them assist in the formation of their entity.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I read a lot when I started my LLC because I didn't know nothing. So yeah, you are completely right with all of that. Missing some things I didn't know. So I think I'll be definitely sitting in your session. I'll be just like this.
Yeah. One more tip before we move on to the next question. A lot of people don't realize that they should do trademark searches as well prior to forming a business, right? Mm-hmm. And just trademark registrations. So trademark searches, what they do is they help you identify whether or not the company name that you want to use is actually being used by another company, and whether or not you are going to potentially be infringing on that other company. And it's not just the same exact name, right? It's also names that are similar, because those will, you can get a cease and desist letter if your name is too similar to another company. So if you do a trademark search, this can save you a lot of time and money, because you'll know if the name is being utilized by someone else and whether or not you want to move forward with that name, or if you should change your branding up front before you invest all the money into the marketing and building up the brand, and then finding out later on that you need to change it. So that's another tip that I'll give to the audience tonight, just around forming companies.
Thank you. So people contact you when they need all this hands-on assistance.
Yes. So we have a website. It's called www.thebrownefirm.com, and Browne has an E at the end of it. And you can also email me at Danielle@thebrownefirm.com, and it has the same E at the end of Browne. But we're also on social media. So you can catch us on Instagram, Facebook, at thebrownefirm.com. And we give a ton of free content. For our anniversaries, we give out free services. We really just want to keep the community informed and make sure people are doing the right thing, because I'm all about helping people build generational wealth, have the proper legal foundations, pass on tools to their family, because I believe we can't continue to start over, and which is what we've been doing in our community, is starting over each generation. We need to build on top of each generation. So I'm all about that. So if you have any questions, you can shoot us a DM on Instagram, or you can email me, or give us a call. Our number is 914-530-3070. I don't even know what area code 915 is. I don't know what that was
Look it up
about.
later. Yeah, this is great. So my last question for you is, where do you see yourself going in the future? Like, what are some of your new goals?
I really see myself in city council, being a city council member and kind of changing the landscape for Mount Vernon. I really believe deeply in that. I think I can have the most impact there. At the firm, I can touch people individually, but we have a city of almost 100,000 residents, and I feel like I can make greater impact on that level, and not just impact the generations we have now, but future generations, right? I think I have the ability, and I work well with older generations, and I think I can bridge the gap between all the generations and kind of stop some of the infighting, and really just bring a collaborative spirit to Mount Vernon, right? So I played sports all my life, and I've always been a team player, and I intend to do that in city council, because that's what we need for the city.
You're really dope. I kind of like you.
I appreciate that.
I do. Your energy is pure. You can tell. Like, you mean what you say.
Thank you. I do indeed.
So thank you all for tuning in tonight. Danielle, you wait right there. All right, this is Popular Code, Black or Everything. And again, we have Danielle Browne with the Browne Firm. And there's an E at the end, everybody. All right, check her out.